the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Good evening, I'm Mark Mullins. Restaurants and other businesses are finding ways to press on despite the challenges of the pandemic. In Muncie, the first day of business was booming for a one-of-a-kind restaurant. WRTV's Cornelius Hawker introduces us to the owner tonight, whose goals are to honor her family and create more jobs in her community.
Here at Mama Bond's Soul Food Kitchen, Andrea Nicole Venable Bond serves one of the last customers of the day. They close at 6, but it's almost 7 o'clock.
From last night, we had people calling us, placing orders, and we didn't want to turn anyone away. This morning, 8:30, they start coming in.
They were so busy, they ran out of food before I could get any video of it. With that happening on the first day, Andrea has faith this Soul Food Kitchen, which she says is the only one of its kind in Muncie, is going to do well.
I wanted to open up something and give back to Muncie and employ more people.
Although she admits a restaurant was not her first idea for a new business.
The pandemic hit in March, and I was talking to my father, and he said, do you really want to open up a daycare during this time?
The pandemic made her change up her plans. And while opening a restaurant is still a big risk, she's staying the course and trusting in her faith.
I have a decal on the wall, let your faith be bigger than your fear. I mean, it just explains itself. I have to have faith that we'll overcome and make it a success.
Working for you in Muncie, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
Andrea honored her husband's family by naming the restaurant after his mom. Mama Bond's Soul Food Kitchen will be open 7 days a week from noon to 6. It's located in downtown Muncie in the Rose Court building. The economic crisis and the health crisis are not the only challenges businesses are facing amid the pandemic. Unfortunately, some are dealing with threats. Mashcraft in Greenwood closed early yesterday after employees say a customer became aggressive and made violent threats toward them, all because he was asked to wear a mask or leave. According to our police report, the customer continued to call the business after leaving, saying he would return and attack people. Mashcraft had extra security throughout the day today. A reminder, if you need a mask or other items to help curb the spread of COVID-19, resources are available. Today, the Carmel Fire Department hosted an information booth at the Meyer on Carmel Drive near the Old Meridian. Firefighters gave away bottles of hand sanitizer, disposable face masks, and packets to help educate the public.
There's information in there about how to wear a mask properly, how to make your own mask. Also in there is the executive order from the governor about wearing masks. Also in there is testing sites that are local, that are free, one in Carmel and one in Noblesville.
The department has been hosting these community information sessions for months and will continue to hold more in the coming weeks. Marion County is still offering free face coverings to residents. For more information, click on the COVID-19 Community Resources section of the indy.gov website. Today, the State Department of Health reported 5,708 new positive COVID cases from Monday through yesterday. Hospitalizations are at 2,548 patients, and the 7-day positivity rate among unique individuals is 20.8%. Remember, anyone who works or lives in Indiana can get a COVID test for free. For more information, go to coronavirus.in.gov. Now to the forecast here on this Friday. Temperatures in the 20s at this hour in much of central Indiana. Kevin, a lot of people spent last weekend outside enjoying those sunny, warm days we had, but this weekend will be different.
It will be different, quite windy, and we've got some showers in the forecast as well. Mark, you hit it on the head already in the 20s, 26 in Peru and 26 in Terre Haute. Those are the coldest temperatures at this point. A hard freeze on the way tomorrow. Okay, the chance for rain increases tomorrow. Warmest temperatures will occur Saturday evening and Saturday night, and get ready for that wind to whip. It'll be over 30 miles per hour in the evening Saturday and then strengthen Saturday night. Temperature trend climbing into the upper 40s late in the afternoon, further climbing in the evening into the low 50s. First thing in the morning, there's some cloud cover. By 1 o'clock, you see the rain coming in from southwest Indiana into central Indiana. We'll finish the rain timeline, zero in on those hours where the winds will likely gust over 40 miles per hour, and we'll finish off the weekend. You need to hear about Sunday as well. That's coming up.
Well, this weekend marked a big milestone in the construction of a park honoring the 2 Delphi girls who were murdered in 2017. The new playground is now installed at what will eventually be Abby and Libby Memorial Park. It is the first finished element of the park. When the park opens next spring, it will have ball fields, an amphitheater, and a walking and fitness trail. Family members say they want the girls to be remembered for more than the tragic way their lives were taken.
This is something we think is positive that's also going to impact everybody, that, you know, we want their friends, their classmates, and their relatives to be able to come and have a place where they can remember them alive and happy and playing music and participating in sports, and all of that is right here.
When we come out here tomorrow to work on the picnic structures, we'll drive by and you'll look out there and see that playground done. You know, that's another box that we can put a check mark in.
The park is made possible thanks to a lot of fundraising, grants, and volunteers. The Indiana-based playground company AAA State of Play donated much of the playground equipment and labor. 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German were killed in February of 2017 after going for a walk on the trail near the Monon High Bridge. The case is still unsolved. You can submit tips anonymously by calling the Delphi Homicide Tip Line at 844-459-5786. The final states have been called in the presidential race. ABC News is projecting Joe Biden to win Georgia and Arizona, with President Trump taking North Carolina. ABC's Rena Roy reports the president still has not conceded, but spoke publicly today.
After his longest stretch of silence since he took office, President Trump addressing the nation for the first time in more than a week, touting progress on a COVID vaccine.
No medical breakthrough of this scope and magnitude has ever been achieved this rapidly, this quickly.
He has still not conceded, but he did say this.
This administration will not be going to a lockdown. Hopefully whatever happens in the future, who knows which administration will be, I guess time will tell. But
Speaker Nancy Pelosi slamming Republicans for joining the president in refusing to acknowledge Joe Biden as president-elect, even as the coronavirus is raging.
The longer the Republicans keep up the charade, the further out of control the COVID crisis will spiral, and more endangered Americans will be.
The president's trade advisor on Fox Business this morning still pushing the long shot idea that Trump will win.
We're moving forward here at the White House under the assumption that there will be a second Trump term.
Biden's newly appointed chief of staff on MSNBC says there could be serious consequences, with the General Services Administration still not accepting Biden as president-elect, therefore stalling the transition process.
We're in a COVID crisis. The sooner we can get our transition experts into meetings with the folks who are planning that vaccination campaign, the more seamless the transition from a Biden presidency to a Trump presidency can be.
At least 10 Republican senators are calling on the Trump administration to start providing classified briefings to President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Rena Roy, ABC News, Wilmington, Delaware.
The patient basically has a direct contract with the physician, and they take insurance companies out of it.
Coming up, why some Americans are giving up insurance and turning to a new option for their health care. And ahead in sports, see which high school football teams punch their tickets to the semi-state.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
A popular central Indiana venue known for its smooth sounds is getting back to business with some safety changes. WRTV's Cameron Riddle takes us there.
For the first weekend in more than 7 months, the Jazz Kitchen in Broad Ripple is back open after closing early in the pandemic. Now tonight, guests are in the chairs and musicians are back on stage.
We're just trying to get back into it. It's been a long 7.5, 8 months, and just trying to make a go of it. We know that there's a lot of folks that want to see the music and enjoy the food and just get out, you know, and then obviously really concentrating on doing it safely.
Doing it safely has been top of mind while the doors of the Jazz Kitchen were closed. With no customers inside, the Jazz Kitchen had to be reimagined to work in a pandemic. Inside now, you'll find touchless faucets, sanitizing stations, staff getting their health screenings and temperature checks on top of a new flexible floor plan to allow for social distancing. After opening this week with limited capacity, customers can clearly see a difference.
We were very fortunate, you know, the last 2 nights of shows that we've had, everybody's come in, they've had their mask on. They've complimented us on how many times they see the staff wiping down doors and handles and things of that nature.
If the Jazz Kitchen's new COVID precautions aren't enough for you, but you still want to hear jazz music, there's a solution for that too, with a virtual Jazz Fest, which also launches this weekend. The free shows are streamed online, with any donations going to educational programs and musicians who haven't had much work all year long.
Musicians have been impacted and affected, probably the first people to be affected by this pandemic, and the last people will probably to return to some normalcy.
Whether online or in person, the jazz scene in Indy is ready to entertain and keep you safe.
We certainly want to see you back here, but we want you to do it when you're ready.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
With limited seating available inside the Jazz Kitchen, you'll need to reserve your seat in advance at thejazzkitchen.com. The online concerts will be available for free online at indyjazzfest.net. WRTV is teaming up with Christmas Nights of Lights to help make the holiday a little brighter for those in need. The light show opened tonight at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. If you attend the display tomorrow, $1 from every ticket sold will go toward the WRTV Toy Drive. The drive-through setup means visitors do not have to worry about masks, social distancing, or the weather.
You don't have to leave your car, the warmth, the safety of your car. Your radio is tuned to the music, and all the lights are synchronized to that music.
Again, attend Christmas Nights of Lights at the Indiana State Fairgrounds tomorrow, and part of the proceeds will go to the WRTV Toy Drive. Of course, the annual Toy Drive supports families in central Indiana. And Kevin, you were there earlier to help kick off the event, and you got to see those lights light up firsthand earlier tonight.
And I don't want to name drop, but Santa was there as well. Santa and Mrs. Claus and one of the reindeer. Let me just mention some rains in the forecast tomorrow night, but that doesn't mean don't go. When the ground is wet, the street is wet there, it reflects all the lights, so it's like having double the amount of lights to see. 25 in Kokomo, temperatures 32 in Shelbyville, just above the freezing mark in Indy. Temperatures tomorrow morning, they'll start in the 20s, will end in the 50s, and those temperatures tomorrow will be their warmest, I think, tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. 53 the magic number, with rain developing during the afternoon tomorrow, still in the 50s on Sunday. Let's pick up the timeline. I stopped at 1 o'clock a little bit earlier, so from 1 to 7 o'clock you can see the area of rain lift to the north. A little bit of a break, and then between 7 and 11 becomes more widespread. May actually have a little thunder with this. At this time, not expecting severe storms, but it's going to be windy. Even outside of any of the rain, 30 to 40 mile-per-hour gusts. Here's the latest rainfall potential. Could see ½ an inch to maybe 2/3 of an inch in some spots. The wind created by deep low pressure around Lake Superior and high pressure over Texas and Colorado. And that pressure difference creates the very strong winds which will develop tomorrow afternoon and last through Sunday. The warmer air in the southern portion of the state will lift north through the day into Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Notice that strong south wind during the day. That's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By the time we get to the evening, the wind starting to strengthen, gusting over 30. Then overnight into Sunday morning, wind gusts will be over 40 miles per hour in spots. Temperatures across the state about average for this time of year. As we get to early next week, we'll enjoy some dry but cool weather. There's the weather system pulling away as we get to Sunday and setting the stage for a quiet start to next week. 53 with sunshine Monday, a cool day Tuesday. High temperature just 46. We're still in the 40s next Wednesday, and then we'll turn the corner. Get temperatures back to 60 on Thursday, 61 on Friday. That's a dry stretch. And mark beyond the 7-day forecast indications, our temperatures will remain above average until about the 27th of November. So that we have to look forward to. Have a good weekend.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Kevin. Temperatures are cooling down, but the high school football season, the postseason, is heating up. We start our coverage of regionals with WRTV's Brad Brown.
We start with Class 5A. Zionsville and Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger tied at 21, 6 seconds to go, and it's Adam Vinatieri Jr. with a 20-yard field goal to put the Eagles in front. They would return a fumble on the ensuing kickoff for 6 more and win it by a 30-21 final. Zionsville moving on to next week's semi-state. We continue our regional coverage now with the top-ranked team in Class 6A and another dominating performance from Center Grove. Here's Dave Marin.
It was a rematch from a Week 1 battle where Center Grove would beat Warren 20-0, and it was more of the same tonight. 29 unanswered points would give the Trojans a halftime lead, 29-0. In the third, they came out and would continue to pound the ground and eat up clock. Here, Carson Steele breaks through for the 24-yard gain and the touchdown, 36-0. That score would trigger the running clock for the rest of the game. Late in the third quarter, more trouble for the Warriors. Austin Booker would get in front of this punt. That would sail out of the end zone for the safety. The Warriors just had no answers for the Center Grove's offensive attack as they would hurdle Warren Central tonight, 38-0. Dave Marin, WRTV Sports.
The other half of that 6A bracket had Carmel making the trip to Ben Davis. The Greyhounds continuing defense of their 2019 state title. A great start for Carmel. Opening kick of the game, and it's Barron Smith on the return. Watch it all unfold. 90 yards later, he's in the end zone for the score. A perfect start for the Hounds on the road. But the Giants stayed steady and were able to gain control of the game, just more physical as the night went on. They took a 2-score lead and made it stick. 27-21, Ben Davis advances. It's their 4th regional title in the last 5 seasons. Ben Davis will host Center Grove in next week's 6A semi-state. CG won the regular season matchup 35-12. That game was back in week 4, second week of September. The teams played in last year's semi-state as well. Trojans won that game 17-10. Westfield will also be in the semi-state. The Shamrocks rolled past Fort Wayne Homestead tonight 42-9. Westfield will go to Merrillville next week. The Pirates eliminated Elkhart 27-24. Let's get a look at defending 2A state champ Western Boone. The Stars at Heritage Christian. It was HCS making some big plays early. Max Milton with the short pass to Zach Schlemmer, but watch the run after the catch. Makes a nice move, couple of nice blocks, and then Schlemmer finds the seam down the sideline. He's in for the score. Eagles would get a first-half lead. But a big second half for the Stars. Elliott Young going up top for the corner of the end zone. Big tight end Connor Garrity is there to reel it in for the score. Webo strings together a 42-27 win. They are back into the 2A semi-state. They'll be at home for that game next Friday. Let's get to Class 4A. Top-ranked Mount Vernon hosting Roncalli. Rematch of a regional game from last year. But this time the Rebels got the upper hand. A 21-7 lead at halftime. They opened the third quarter with their offense on the grind. A pummeling running attack of quarterback Aiden Leffler and running back Baron Hubler. They combined for a dozen straight running plays on a 6-minute drive. Hubler taking direct snap on several of those. It would be the QB Leffler calling his own number for the run into the end zone. That gave Roncalli a 3-touchdown lead. Their defense held up its end of the bargain as well. Mount Vernon was unable to find a rhythm all night after being so solid all season. It'll be Roncalli getting back into the semi-state. 35-14 the final in this one. 4 years since their last regional title. Roncalli will host Mooresville next week. The Pioneers advanced with a win over Evansville Central. Just 24 teams will remain next Friday night. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Many students are learning virtually this year. That means school breakfasts, lunches, and cafeterias look different, and food service directors are working to adapt. Tonight, we look at how one local district is still incorporating fresh local choices in meals while making the process safe for students and staff. Jill Overton is the director of food services for Franklin Community Schools in Johnson County. She oversees menu planning, staffing, training, nutrition, and communication with the Department of Education. On a normal year, salad bars and customized meals are a big big part of student lunches, including locally grown products like artisan lettuces, apples from AppleWorks, and even food grown in the gardens of staff members. However, COVID-19 has impacted those choices. Now Overton has to focus on prepackaged and grab-and-go options.
Pretty much everything we can is prepackaged to keep it safe. We want parents to know that we are doing everything we can to keep the kids safe as well. Still trying to keep things as normal as we can because there's so much that's not normal.
Overton also wants parents of virtual learners to know they can arrange pickup for breakfasts and lunches. And the USDA has extended the free summer meal program through the end of the calendar year for students across the entire state. Check in with your district if you have questions or need help paying during these difficult economic times. Some Americans are dumping their health insurance in favor of a new membership model. A monthly or annual fee gets you direct access to a doctor. Scripps reporter Usher Qureshi explains the benefits and the criticism.
I was just miserable.
20 years into her career, bogged down by red tape, too many patients, and long days,
The joy of medicine is gone, and then you're just doing paperwork.
Dr. Shaila Pai Verma was looking for a better way to practice medicine. So a year ago, she started a new primary care practice with a new business model.
The patient basically has a direct contract with the physician, and they take insurance companies out of it.
Patients pay a flat monthly or yearly fee. In exchange, they receive a broad range of primary care services and quick, unlimited access to their doctor via in-person office visits, phone, or by text.
Everyone wants everything immediate, right? And so I think this is it. You know, it's good, especially in this time, for people to have access.
Membership fees range from about $125 to $200 per month on average, about $250 less than having typical health insurance. Most patients still carry catastrophic coverage for emergency treatments and hospitalizations, but that insurance is usually only about $50 to $100 a month, meaning patients still save money. For Bonnie Michelli and her family, it was all about access.
With this, it's just so much easier to just know that I can contact directly here within a few hours for any issues that I'm having.
In late September, a bipartisan proposal was introduced in Congress that would expand access to the model and allow people to use their health savings account for direct primary care. Because they see fewer patients than traditional practices, some critics warn the model could worsen the shortage of primary care physicians, a trend already fueled by burnout. But according to a recent study, DPC members had 25% lower hospital admissions, and the cost of ER claims was reduced by 54%.
There's less ER visits and, better health care for the patient.
While there is still debate, for a growing number of Americans, it's becoming a simplified health insurance alternative.
Honestly, just so nice to know what I'm paying every month, or if you do the annual, what you're getting for that money, and you know exactly who to go to when you have a problem.
Reporting from Chicago, I'm Usher Qureshi.
A dream come true for hundreds of Hoosier kids. Soon they'll have brand new beds of their own thanks to a partnership between the Colts and Ashley Home Store. Ashley's Hope to Dream program hosted a parade of cars and delivery trucks filled with 100 new beds. They'll be donated to local relief organizations and from there go to kids in need. Traders Point Church will distribute beds through its foster and adoption ministry.
This is a really important ministry in the life of our church. We have a lot of people that care very deeply about it, and so we know that our children, vulnerable children, is a real need in the state of Indiana, and so we're trying to make a difference there.
The parade included Colts cheerleaders and Blue. Since 2013, Ashley and the Colts have teamed up to donate 700 new beds to local kids. Great cause there. Here's Kevin.
All right, temperatures during the day tomorrow, they'll peak late afternoon into tomorrow night, moving into the lower 50s. But remember, our rain chances increase in the afternoon, and the wind tomorrow night, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Windy, windy, windy. Have a good weekend. Mark?
Thanks, Kevin, and thank you for joining us. That's going to do it for us here on WRTV News at 11. It's been great having you along tonight. We want you to have a safe weekend and a great evening.